Mark Holmes, I see you're all worried about the coronavirus. You're worried about where you're gonna eat, trying to go find food, stocking up, right? Well, listen, man. Fat asses like us, we could afford to not eat for a little bit. We could use a little diet. If you get real hungry, have a radish for your fat ass. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be worried about the coronavirus. It only lasts like 14, 20 days. I think I already had it. What you really need to be worried about is having loseritis for 30 plus years. Still stinks. Everybody doing? King Ding by here, and I hope everybody's having a great day, a wonderful weekend. Hope you guys are doing well. I've had a wonderful, relaxing weekend for the most part. There was this one situation that did come up yesterday that I'm going to have to address briefly here. Now, yesterday, I'm hanging out with the family, hanging out with the wife. We're just chilling. We're sitting around, relaxing. We're not all worried about all this coronavirus stuff and all those. Because I already did everything I needed to do to prepare like a month ago before it got crazy. So I'm good. We're good. Nothing to worry about. I think I already had the damn virus. But what are you going to do? Stay safe, wash your hands, all those kind of things. But I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, I see a notification rather, from YouTube. And I see it, and it's from Mark Holmes, and it has my name in the title. And in it, he's going off. He's going off about Carson Wentz, about Nick Foles having to replace Carson Wentz, even though that was like 2 years ago. And it just occurred to me, this dude has forgotten. He's forgotten. He hasn't had a carbohydrate in so long, he forgot who the NFC East Champs are. He's forgot. So Mark Holmes, I want you to go to your son, Michael Anthony Fitness, and I want you to ask him, hey son, who is the NFC East Champs? And he's going to tell you, right here, I have his belt for a reason, because your team chokes. You couldn't beat Carson Wentz and a bunch of practice squad guys. A bunch of them. Now you're flipping out because Tom Brady, or in the words of Brandon Graham, Tim Brady is going to be your future quarterback because you don't really want Dak Prescott. They offered him $33 million, $105. He ain't going to take it. It's a low ball offer. You got to pay the man $40 million. And I vouch for Dak Prescott to get at least $45 to $50 million a year for the Dallas Cowboys. From him. Get it. Take it. Give it to him. He's so great. And Mark, he got mad at me. He got mad at me because I sent him a text message. I sent him a text message the other day, Friday night. And he flipped out about it. It was just a simple, this was it. That was it. He decided to do a whole video because of that. Well, you know what, Mark? In honor of you, in honor of your craziness, your love for Dak Stinkscott, I'm leaving this thing up the whole video. I'm going to leave it up the whole video because you need to see it. It needs to be reinforced. He stinks, okay? And I want him to get paid $45 million. I want him to get paid $50 million. I want him with you guys forever because he stinks. That's what I think. But maybe, just maybe, Tom Brady is on his way to save your Dallas Cowboys. We shall see. And look, if you love Nick Foles so much, you talk about him all the time, why don't you trade for him? Trade for him. I'm not scared to play him. Let's do it. Let's do it, Mark. Let's do it. Come on, Mark Holmes with your buddy, Cowboy Joe Boo. And I want to thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Network. Today, we signed Tom Brady, and this is the greatest thing we could have ever done. He is the greatest quarterback of all time, now playing for the greatest franchise of all time. They stink! That's what I say. They all stink, Mark. So I'm sorry the little text got you so upset and rattled because you're in a bad mood because you haven't had a carbohydrate. Too bad. Too bad. Get over it. We the champs, you the chumps. That's the way it has to be, Mark. That's the way it is. That's the truth. So remember, Mark. Remember, I got the belt. I got the belt. I got it. We Eagle fans got it. And the only way Michael Anthony Fitness or you are going to get this belt back is your stinking Cowboys got to beat my Eagles. And you know that's not going to happen. So, to you. Now, what I want to talk about today that I've just infected everybody on YouTube with the coronavirus, I want to talk about the backup quarterback situation for the Philadelphia Eagles. I've had a couple requests to do this video earlier in the week. I couldn't get to it, but I wanted to basically talk a little bit about it today and tell you who my target would be as a backup quarterback. Now, I love what Josh McCown did for us last year. I love his connection with Carson, how he was almost like a player coach to Carson Wentz. I have nothing but respect how he came in the playoffs, how he played. He tore his hamstring. I mean, I think he ripped that thing right off the bone. And he played through it. He was a tough SOB. And I got nothing but respect to him. He's 41 years old. And I would love to bring him back. And I would bring him back if I could as my third quarterback. I would try to keep 3 quarterbacks. But the Eagles are still going to need another backup. And we have to face the reality that Carson has gotten hurt in the past. He's gotten hurt. He got knocked out of that playoff game, even though it was a cheap shot to the back of the head. It happens, and there's always a possibility that he could miss a game. And so I think that the Philadelphia Eagles, they need to value the backup quarterback spot. They need to value it a little more maybe than some other teams, and maybe sign a bigger name than, maybe other teams would at the backup spot. Now, I don't think a guy like Teddy Bridgewater would come, because I think he's going to get a chance to sign somewhere else. Of course, you got the whole situation where Brady's going to start somewhere. There's a few possible starting spots, and I think some of those quarterbacks are going to basically get a starting job. Maybe even Winston will get a chance to play. Maybe even Tannehill, who knows? But the one guy that I want to see the Eagles get, and I'm basically leading into this, is there's one quarterback who I think he's talented. I think he has ability. I think that he went to a team that did him no favors in his development. They did him no favors in his development. Then they kind of gave up on him. When that happens when you get new coaches and those kind of things. And I think if you got Marcus Mariota, bring him to Philly, let him be the backup to Carson, and have Doug and have that coaching staff kind of rework him, rebuild him, break him down and rebuild him. And let him develop his game again, develop his footwork, let him get confidence, let him learn under a quarterback coach, an offensive-minded coach. You have Marty there now too. Let these guys work with him, rebuild his game, and let him be the backup. I think he's the same age as Carson, maybe a year younger. Okay? I think you could probably get Marcus Mariota for 2 years. I think you could sign him to 2-year contract, sign him, let him come in. Hopefully he doesn't have to play, obviously. But in the meantime, while he's not playing, he's reworking. They're rebuilding him as a player, as a quarterback. They're rebuilding his footwork, his mechanics, everything about him, everything that needs work. You're going to rebuild him. Then if he needs to come in and spot duty, you have him. Maybe he gets enough confidence. He builds up enough of a rapport that teams want to give him a shot in a few years as a starting quarterback somewhere. That would be great. That would be perfect. Mariota intrigues me a lot. Like I said, Bridgewater I see going somewhere. Maybe if New England loses a quarterback or something like that, I could see him starting somewhere. Of course, Phillip Rivers is going to start somewhere. Brady's going to start somewhere. I could even see a situation where Tannehill starts somewhere. But I think Marcus Mariota is not going to start somewhere at least next year. And I think that if he's smart, and if I'm Mariota, and if I'm Mariota's people, I'm saying, look, you're going to take a backup role this year. We're going to go somewhere on an offensive-minded team with coaches who know how to build quarterbacks up, and I'm going to go somewhere, whether it's the Eagles roster or not. It could be the Colts, it could be whoever. But if I'm Mariota, I'm going somewhere to kind of rebuild myself as a quarterback. And the Eagles would be a perfect scenario for him to do it, because he actually may get some playing time, but he's going to get a lot of time to work on his game. The whole Mariota Eagles connection when they had Chip Kelly. The Eagles were going to pay way too much for him. I personally thought coming out of college, Marcus Mariota was going to be a pretty good quarterback. I really did. The problem is that he went to Tennessee and he didn't have the right coaches to teach him or build him up as a quarterback, and I think that was a big mistake. So I think under the right condition, the right circumstance, you get Marcus Mariota and you let him come in under Doug Peterson and learn for like 2 years. I think you could rebuild him to a point where maybe he can go somewhere else and start. Meanwhile, you get a backup quarterback who has some talent, has some ability, can move and be mobile and do some things that would help the Eagles. I think he would be a perfect backup. And then I would like to try to keep McCown for one more year as a third quarterback. So I'd like to have basically 3 quarterbacks going into next year: Carson, Mariota, and McCown. And if I could do that, that would be the perfect situation. And like I said, I wanted to address this video because I've had some requests for what I think the Eagles should do at the backup spot. I think they need to spend a little more money than other teams and bring in somebody that has some ability. And I think Mariota is the perfect guy to bring in, redevelop, and then eventually, let him go somewhere else. But under the Eagles, under Doug Peterson, and in a situation where, look, Carson could get hurt and miss a few games, that could happen, you have him to come in. So that's what I would do. Obviously, some people want Foles back. No way in hell would I ever bring Nick Foles back. It would just be a bad situation for Carson Wentz. Now, it's going to be a busy week. I got a Sixers video. I got much requested Flyers stuff. I'm getting tons of requests for Flyer stuff, so I'm going to do that too. It's going to be a busy week, but let me know, what do you guys think about Mariota as the potential backup quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles? Let me know in the comment section. With that said, the champs, we're out of here. Mark Holmes, remember who the champs are. Take care. Talk to you later. And don't be a dingbat. Dallas still stinks.